Gundam.tk presents V Gundam. Hey everybody, welcome back to part 2 of my review of the 144th Victory Gundam, and don't forget to check out part 1 to see all the parts and details. Now, putting this Gundam together as a snap, all you're going to do is move the side skirt out of the way and pop the ball joints onto the legs. For the arms, you're just going to take the shoulder and slide that on over the wildly exciting V-frame. It's almost as good as fighting action. And then you plug the arm in. Finally, plug the chest into the waist section and pop the head onto the polycap, and you have a completed Victory Gundam. So here is your completed 144th Victory Gundam, and I have to say, you know what, once you put in the black lining, it doesn't look as bad as I expected it to for a $5 model, but it does look small, as you'll see in a second with the size comparisons. You can really see how at the end of the Universal Century, how in addition to the mobile suits getting a lot smaller, Bandai, I think they were being cheap maybe and trying to save plastic when they were trying to make everything 15 meters instead of the standard 18, but you can really see the size difference. A few years back, Bandai was experimenting with 1/200th speed grade models. They only made 4 of them, but I enjoyed building them. But you can see here that the 144th Victory Gundam, it's not much bigger than the Zeta Gundam. Here it is stacked up against its 1/100th V Gundam counterpart on the left. And don't forget you can check out its review, but this model is going to be replaced very soon with the Master Grade version. In terms of mobility, you're able to bring the legs this far forward because the leg skirt gets a bit in the way. You're not going to get a full 90 degree with the legs. The ankles move and have slight side-to-side action, but not very much. The side skirt armor allows you to bring the legs out this much. For upper body mobility, you are able to spin the arms around, but if you do, the shoulders might want to pop off. The elbows go around here, and you're able to bring up the forearm. Well, you can call it 90, but it's more like an 85. But what's sort of cool for me is that you're able to bring this red part forward. To put the shield on, similar to the 1/100th, you have the red piece in the elbow, and you just pull out the peg, put the shield on, and then replace the peg. With the shield on, well, guess what, Uso? You're safe from Katarina shooting you from behind and to the left, because, yeah, it does a great job of protecting him in the back. Now the problem is, because it's on such a short peg, it doesn't do a very good job of staying in. With the arm in the right position, if you push the fist in a little bit, then what you're able to do though, is bring this red part forward, which allows Uso to actually have a front shield. And this is something that the 1/100th did not have, but it is something that they're bringing back with the Master Grade. However, once you bring the shield forward, you're going to get weight issues. Now, putting the rifle in the hands is probably one of the more complex things you'll ever have to do. Sorry, I lied. So armed up with standard beam rifle and shield going forward, actually I like the looks of this V1 Gundam. I sort of wish I had the dash pack, but other than that, I think it's got a pretty good impression, other than the fact that the shield does not want to stay up, but I wonder if I can fiddle with that just by having the arm go up. The beam sabers fit no problem in, the same as the beam rifle, and you can use the bent one if you want the slashing through, well, not a Zaku, a Zoloat, I guess. Now this awesome base, in addition to having the ability to put in a postcard of wherever you went last in the background, it comes with a sticker that says V Gundam and a gray joint there that you're going to plug in to the bottom, and all of a sudden you have Uso Aerial, and you can see that this model doesn't have all that bad posability overall, and you can actually pull off a few decent poses with it once you fix the shield. And with the postcard plugged into the back of the base, Uso is a fantastic advertisement for beautiful British Columbia. When you switch the arm, you're able to get him in what they call a flying pose on the box, but instead it just sort of looks more like a dash, but again, you can pull off some pretty decent looking poses, much better than I expected. So now some final thoughts on the, not 1/100th, 144th Victory Gundam. And I have to say that, you know what, for me, I just bought this as a total spur of the moment. I was standing in line at Yodobashi Camera, and I saw this in front of me, and I said, hey, you know what, it actually looks like fun. And believe it or not, for the $5, this is a fun kit to build. I prefer it to the speed grade for some reason, if only because I think it's the dumb things like getting this big pink stand, a postcard, and then the ability that you can take the plates, fold them together, and you've already built half the Gundam with zero effort. Now, what they call a frame is a bit of a laughable joke, but you can see that as far back as '93, they were paving the way for the Master Grade that I'll be getting very, very soon. Of course, the question is, are we going to get a 144th high-grade Universal Century of the V Gundam? And considering we haven't got such favorites as the Double Zeta yet, I think it's going to be a long time, especially as we're getting the Master Grade anyway. But this one, I should have mentioned this earlier, does not transform, and I can't see the high-grade Universal Century transforming without a lot of part swapping. So in the meantime, if you are a fan of the 144th kits, I enjoyed this, and for the $5, I think you just might too. And again, anytime you build one of these old kits, you really get to see how far they've come. So let's see how well they fix that one up. Wait a minute, if we're related, then that helmet means I'm gonna be sick.